बेसिक बात क्या है कि गाड़ी में मैं बैठा हूँ, हरीश शर्मा जी हमारे, ये जी कह रहा हूँ मुझे शर्म आ गई ऐसे, लेकिन मैं क्या करूँ दाढ़ी वाला, सफेद दाढ़ी वाला। तो एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकली स्पीकिंग तो हम लोग विधिवत फिजिकली मिले हैं 1989 के बाद। अब मिले क्या, मतलब वर्चुअली थोड़ा बहुत मिल गया, फोन पे बात हुई। हाँ, तो एक तू इस पे ध्यान मत देना, तू गाड़ी में, मैं इसको देख लूंगा, ठीक है। तो एक तो मैं ऐसे कह रहा था थोड़ी देर पहले कि ऐसा लगता ही नहीं है कि वो कहते हैं वेयर वी लेफ्ट ऑफ, बिकॉज कुछ ऐसे रिश्ते होते हैं जिसमें अब लेफ्ट ऑफ तो होता ही नहीं है, वो कंटिन्यूटी रहती है, मिलो नहीं मिलो ऐसा। पर अभी मैं एकदम फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके वहाँ पे आ रहा हूँ जहाँ अभी थोड़ी देर पहले तू कह रहा था कि 2 महीने हुए 83 के बाद पहली बार जब तूने ये महसूस किया कि तू फॉर्मली कोई काम में एंगेज नहीं है, बाकी तो खैर बिना काम के तो रहा ही नहीं। तो वहाँ से आप कंटिन्यू रखो, क्योंकि मेरा और तेरा अलग अलग है यार एंगल इस मामले में। नहीं बिल्कुल,
सारी जिंदगी शायद 40 साल से एक मैसेज हमेशा बहुत अच्छा आता था, that your salary has been accredited to your account, and for last 2 months nothing has come, so that's a different experience. Not that I need, but still it has a, that your salary has been accredited, and the entire family says that you need not enjoy, follow your hobbies. Now I never had a chance to have hobbies. I don't know हमारे स्कूल में क्या हॉबी थी, क्रिकेट खेल लो और घर आके पढ़ाई करो. So I guess I don't have any. I need to develop, and but there's absolutely no complaint. Look at what we have achieved, where we have started. I mean, in 78, somebody would have said that you lead a life like what we have led. We won't have believed that we could lead a life like that. I mean, that time, white Fiat.
बड़ी चीज।
हाँ, it was the ultimate ambition कि before I hang my boot, I should, if I have a white Fiat car, it will be a great achievement. Okay, and now I don't even recall how many cars I have purchased in my life. So it's a great journey. That's how I look at it, and it's always a learning curve. The most important thing is learning, not knowing. I mean, writing a simple English sentence to going and making presentations to who's who around the globe.
Wow.
Was a huge learning. I mean, at times I look back and think that I didn't even know I have in me to do all that things. Okay. So that gives me tremendous satisfaction. And there are regrets, because once you are in a, once you, they say, riding a tiger, okay, you can't get off it. And we waited to celebrate weekends, because we were always catching up with US time zone. So जिंदगी में शाम आई नहीं क्या तो सुबह होती थी या लेट नाइट होती थी.
तो मैं थोड़ा इंटरप्ट कर रहा हूँ कि उसमें मेरी फोटो भी आ जाएगी. नहीं और दूसरा मेरा थोड़ा सा पर्सपेक्टिव और आगे का लीडिंग क्वेश्चन में ऐड हो जाएगी. तो मुझे एक्चुअली ऐसा लगा कि मेरे पास बहुत कुछ है करने को. लाइक मैं भी 40 साल से काम कर ही रहा हूँ, और मेरा उस तरह का नहीं हुआ कि मैंने बहुत सारी गाड़ियाँ नहीं खरीदी. 3-4 खरीदी होगी, लेकिन वो भी खैर अलग सीन है. सो एंड ये हमारी नीड भी होती है, और एक साइकोलॉजिकली लगता है कि मंथ में कुछ ऐड होता है, दैट इज ऑफ कोर्स देयर. और फिर नीड से बियॉन्ड जाके हम अपने आप को फ्री रख सकें. ये मेंटल स्टेट हम में से कम लोग देखते हैं कि हमारे अंदर है. बट मैं अभी तेरी तरफ ही रहना चाहता हूँ. तो एक तो तूने कहा लर्निंग रहा, तो लर्निंग को थोड़ा सा और स्पेसिफाई करना, और बहुत क्विक ब्रश में अगर जो तेरी जर्नी का मेजर टर्न्स कह दे या ऐसे ना, क्योंकि तूने चेंज भी किया थोड़ा बहुत कैरियर. हाँ, और मैं वहाँ से स्टार्ट करा लेता हूँ कि तूने श्रीनगर से इंजीनियरिंग किया था, एंड उस वक्त ऐसा नहीं था कि आप इंजीनियरिंग करके आते कोई बहुत ऊपर हवाई जहाज में चढ़ जाओगे, ऐसा कुछ
ऐसी
नहीं था।
कोई बहुत अच्छे ग्रेड्स भी नहीं थे जिससे कि आप टॉप ऑफ द लाइन आपको जॉब मिल रहे हैं। पहली जॉब हमेशा रिकमेंडेशन से और बैकडोर एंट्री और ऐसी होती थी, एंड देन यू थ्राइव ऑन इट। और जिंदगी के हर मोड़ पे ऐसा लगता था यार दिस इज इट, अब बहुत हो गया। एंड देन सर्कमस्टांसेस यूज्ड टू चेंज, एंड फिर ऐसा लगता था कि कुछ भी हो जाए बट मुझे ये नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है ना। और इट वाज अगेंस्ट माय करंट लाइफ। आई रिवोल्टेड एंड देन लर्न एंड मूव अहेड। Okay, that's how I look at it. Very contented person. I never wanted to had a tough life or struggling life. But वो होता ना एक राजस्थानी यार सब कुछ हो जाए ये नहीं ले सकता मैं यार, ये क्या, how can I be taken for granted or how can
मैं आप इंटरव्यू से हूँ क्योंकि उनमें से बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे नहीं होते भाई, करेज नहीं होता है और एक ऐसा स्टेमिना भी नहीं होता है कि यार रिस्क फैक्टर है यार, जाने दो यार, चलने दो यार, कंप्रोमाइज करते रहो। तो तूने उस मामले में
ऐसा तो नहीं, सबसे पहला तो ये हुआ कि जयपुर छोड़ा मैंने। जयपुर छोड़ने के रीजन बड़े ही सिली थे, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि वी मैरिड out of the community and I got married out of the community, and it was very peculiar circumstances in same office, very male dominant environment and very conservative environment of Jaipur at that time. Okay, got an opportunity outside Delhi and outside Jaipur in Delhi, and that was the biggest shackle I have broken. Okay, because even now I feel people who stayed in their hometown, their learning get restricted. Okay, so my first learning came when I started living in Noida. No support, not knowing anybody, building relationship, and creating your own ecosystem. Okay, and most important thing is that learning the language. Okay, here the predominant communication was in English. Okay, and मैं तो बिल्कुल प्योर हिंदी मीडियम से आया हुआ, इंजीनियरिंग टेक्निकल अंग्रेजी में बुलवा लो, बाकी तो सारा हिंदी में था। Writing a letter was official letter was a huge challenge. So that was a learning. Okay, and then my first job in public sector, how I've been pushed to learn so many different things, and then I realized Gulf War happened. Okay, and people who worked in railways, okay, were preferred to send, and people who recruited from outside. See, RITES was a railway organization, and there was a project in Iraq. Okay, and we were all destined to go there. Okay, and all of a sudden they dropped my name, and so that then again it went here, how can they do it? How can I be discriminated just because I'm not from? So I said I'll not do this. I'll do somewhere where I can never be discriminated. And that time UPSC was the biggest thing, so I appeared in a UPSC interview, worked very hard. Quality assurance concepts were coming, so I studied them and I cleared UPSC as a senior scientific officer, grade 1.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And
which year?
It was in 1992-93.
Acha.
Okay, and joined as procurement, DGQA, quality assurance for defense. And I entered into that organization. My office was at R.K. Puram.
Wow.
I had a yellow card and all that. So that time I realized that after 2 years, that this is not what I'm meant for. It's a typical, government files comes. I used to register vendors for naval procurement.
अच्छा.
File used to come, this. So I said, look, not me. And so
I'm just interrupting, not for the sake of interrupting, but I think you have been very humble when you said that whatever you said about yourself. लेकिन ये वाला जो gut होता है ना कि यार I'm not for it या मैं इसको नहीं enjoy कर रहा हूँ and let me look what else I can do. ये ज़्यादा लोगों की लाइफ में नहीं होता है. And I will confess कि मेरे भी ऐसा लगा होगा कभी तो मैंने वो किया नहीं यार. मतलब आराम because एक comfort level आ जाता है.
Comfort level और एक बहुत comfort था because you know I was senior most. I was youngest senior scientific officer. I was destined to reach up to the joint secretary level. Okay, and all that was there, but there were two other engineering graduates, very senior to me. I used to share a big room with them, and they said that you know there's a CBI inquiry against them. Okay, and they said they are innocent, and you know they are stuck. Okay, because once a CBI inquiry is against you, neither you are promoted nor you are supposed to leave the job, and your life becomes standstill. Okay, whether you have done corruption or not. Okay, they don't even punish you, but they make you as is. So these two guys used to get cheap defense alcohol, and they used to have 2 drinks during their lunch hour in office.
अच्छा.
Okay, so look, this can happen to me. Whether I am corrupt or not corrupt doesn't matter. It's my luck, and it's a virtual jail. I don't want to do that. And what I can do is, and now nobody will give you a job to a defense government officer. So I said I need to evaluate myself. I took admission in IIT Delhi and did part-time MBA, MTech in systems and management.
अच्छा.
And that was one very hard, good, struggling time. I used to leave at 7 and come back at 8, 9. And Reena supported me immensely. With a young girl. My daughter went to crash when she was 11 months old. Okay, so that was some good 2-3 years. Then the moment I graduated or post-graduated, IT was booming. It's like, you know, IT, anybody who's in IT was...
And this is which year now?
96 I'm talking about, 96, 97. Okay. So I joined a startup. Yeah.
So just to bring in some personal sort of a feel here to this story, Harish and I met properly once after I got married. Which was 88. So 89, you were in Delhi somewhere, and we came to your house. I remember that.
Yes,
So and I brought another timeline. 97, I left for USA, for New York, where I am still there, and so we continue with your story.
Exactly. So then I moved to in IT. Okay, I mean that was a relief because before that it was almost hand to mouth. We used to have dot days. That today we'll not spend any money, like one day dot ball. So 95, 96, not that we were poor, but there was constraint. Okay, or simply put, our expenses were at par with our income. And then from 97, 98 onwards, I think I was adequately compensated. And the major breakthrough happened in 99 when I joined Interglobe Aviation, who's the owner of Indigo Airline. They were starting a IT company called IGT Solution. That was the biggest turning point apart from leaving Jaipur. Okay, where with my background I was very skeptical that I'm not I'm not bringing any other skill than common sense. Okay. And common sense, anybody can have more common sense than me and can take away my job. Okay. And I had a family, I had a housing loan and all that. So I started focusing on learning the domain, the business processes of airlines. Okay. And that was, I mean, till 2 months back, I am earning because of that. I became a super specialized in airline IT systems. And for more than 25 years, I have handled various systems. See, passenger reservation system is different than cargo reservation system. Aircraft manufacturing, aircraft maintenance is totally different than catering operations. How do they account revenue is different. Fare deciding is different. So for all that, there's an IT application behind that. And by virtue of catering to various airlines, I understand the process. Okay. And so with IGT, I worked there for 3-4 years, and then again, it was in Gurgaon, so I wanted a job in Noida because kids were growing, so I shifted to HCL Paro. Then HCL Paro was acquired by Paro, so I shifted to NIIT Technology. Then I wanted to work for a big company, so I moved into Satyam cum Tech Mahindra.
When were you in Bangalore?
I was in Bangalore. Then, in 2017, when I was in my mid-50s, I thought if you're not worked in Bangalore, the hub of Makkah of IT, I got an opportunity in Mindtree, and I had fed up with Tech Mahindra at that time. So I moved to Bangalore. I had sort of the finest tenure stay. A beautiful city. At least I was staying in a very beautiful part of the city. And till COVID hit and L&T took over Mindtree, then I started giving consultancy to Infogain, and I wanted to leave Infogain. Then they said you go to Poland for a year. So I just finished my assignment in Poland. So Ashok, I look back, it becomes a very unique, and only I know, and probably you will be able to relate. I worked in all possible sectors of Indian ecosystem. I worked as a pure government servant. I worked in public sector. I worked for Lalas, like Birlas. I worked in a startup. And I worked in an MNC as big as Tech Mahindra. And I worked outside. I lived in 2 different or at least 4 different states of India for more than 2 years. Okay, so I find all this fascinating, this thing for my life and for my learning. I mean, this is a unique experience. People spend their life either in public sector or in government or in IT.
Yes.
So I had plus people in North will not survive in South, and no South Indian will come and other than Kerala. I mean, you tell me any Kannadiga settled in here, okay, you will find hardly anybody, because they think their state is the best. I mean, at one point of time, very interesting, I asked my team, I had 700 odd engineers, and asked my team, how many have you seen Taj Mahal? And there was not a single hand raised. Okay, so in spite of all that unity and all that, I mean, people are not even aware of things in India. That's a huge
Things
challenge.
are changing now or not?
No, see, predominantly domestic tourism has a miles to go. Miles to go. I mean, do you know that in Tamil Nadu there are 5 types of Shiv exists? Okay, that's a 5 element: air, sand, fire, and all. There are 5 type of shivlings exist.
I know.
Okay,
So-
you know that. I mean,
Yeah.
probably I have visited them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you know, Halabedu and Hosla, this thing, Empire temples close to Bangalore. It's as marvelous as Taj Mahal.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so there's so much to see in India, and I think now when I read Prime Minister Modi promoting tourism and asking people to see India, will have a huge impact on our economy.
Economy and learning also.
And learning also, learning about ourselves. Okay, and during my Europe visit, they package their emoluments. Okay, we are nowhere there, nowhere close to. Okay, we have so much to offer, and yet, I mean, it's only single digit promotion what we are getting. It's only Taj, okay, and Goa. People remember only two things: Taj and Goa. Okay, and there's so much to offer. So I think we are digressing, but yeah, these are my learnings, and huge appreciation of my
So,
family.
I will come to two quick points briefly. One, I think when you have a phase where you will say this is like a struggling phase, or there are some challenges, or there are some tough decisions that is to be made, then you keep people who are close to you in the loop. So their approach also somewhat contributes in what you do. So from that point of view, family, that includes wife and any other person you would consider as mentor.
This is, I mean, the full marks go to, see, the moment I have moved out of Jaipur, okay, our family was limited to wife. Okay, so all the support I got from my wife was outstanding. Okay, especially when I was studying. Okay, and my long hours. Okay, there were, as I said, there were days. You won't believe, I have not taken holidays when I was in a job. I took only 15 days vacation once I was changing job. So it was like one after another, one day after another. It was a continuous work. And so yeah, Reena goes up there, okay, and then my parents' blessings. My father, I used to go and tell him the problem, and being a simple man, he used to say, oh, okay, I'll do, do mala tere naam ki de japunga, Shiv will look after you and all that. So that blessing was a huge motivation, and a base that somebody is praying for you. In spite of being from a Pujari Khandan, I have absolutely no skills or technique to pray properly. So yeah, I in that order, I think I'll put it. Now I see my kids working very hard, so they turn around and say that this is what we learned from you, because you work very hard, and 10-12 hours even they work even now. So I'm not sure whether I've answered your question, but this is how I look at it.
Yeah. और mentor के मामले में was there any person who sort of inspired you during your journey in any company or wherever?
That's a tough one, because once you're in corporate this thing, okay, mentorship comes at a very huge cost. Okay. Everybody is ready to take your thought off. Okay, ऐसा कोई नहीं होता कि तुम्हें, but I think Godfather है, yeah. But there are few people who empowered me more than others. Okay, and therefore their tenure, my tenure with them was outstanding. I achieved much bigger milestones than, see, you know my roots. Okay, What we don't have is an opportunity to become an entrepreneur. Okay, we are service class. Okay, and if some boss comes and say, okay, you run, you end of the day you give me this profit or this loss. Okay, and I'll not ask you question. You are not a kid. Okay, get me this money, full empowerment. Okay, that sort of boss if you get, okay, that is mentorship. That is mentorship.
I got you.
अगर you know management का स्टाइल का होता है, एक सेकंड क्लब जाएंगे so entering in one of the poshest area of Noida. Okay, this is the MP lives here and who's who.
Wow.
Yeah, this is big coties. Anyway, yeah. So mentorship is like that. The time is the biggest mentor. This thing. And
if you are open.
If you are open, okay. And the biggest motivation is that end of the day, end of the month, the SMS you get that your salary has been accredited. Okay, that is the motivation. Mentorship, you learn from your junior, you learn from your ecosystem. But my biggest learning is people do business with people. Okay, more people you connect, more you succeed. Okay, that's especially where I worked with a lot of knowledge workers, IT professionals. Okay, so they, my ability to connect with them or my openness to connect with them has benefited me very well. And it benefited them as well because they learn and we both learn. Okay, so I still maintain good relationship with them and likewise.
So we arrived at what? This is the club?
Yeah, this is Club 15A of Noida. Okay. This I've taken membership in 1990. And now this membership is closed.
Acha,
Okay.
so we'll go inside.
Yeah.